Patrick Loschke. I'm one of the respiratory therapists here at Horizon Oxygen and Medical Equipment. Today we're going to be talking about concentrator usage or oxygen usage in the home. In front of me I have an example of a common 5-liter concentrator. We also carry what's called a 10-liter concentrator. Same exact thing, just a little bit larger, that could do up to 10 liters. To operate the concentrator, the first thing we have to do is turn the power on. When we do that, an alarm will sound and all of the indicator lights will light up. That's just letting you know that the alarm functions and what it sounds like, and that all your indicator lights work. So on the front of the machine is always our indicator lights. This is a complete fail light. This light would turn red if something was wrong. Next to that, we have the warning light. You can see kind of an exclamation point there. That's kind of almost orange in color for this machine, and that will start to randomly emit a light, and also the alarm will sound. And finally, we have the green light. That's letting you know everything functions. So when we turn the machine on, all those lights will kick on and the alarm will sound. There they all are. That's what they look like. So when everything's running normal, we have that green light to show. So in order to turn the machine on, we're going to hit the power on and off switch. There's the alarm. There's all 3 indicator lights. And finally, once the machine's operating at normal, just the green light is displayed. All concentrators kind of work on the same premise. They all have indicator lights. For example, on this machine, they're right here at the top. They all have a power on and off button. They all have a liter flow showing how much oxygen is coming out. And they all have a place where oxygen actually comes out of the machine. Now, how a concentrator works is it draws room air. It draws it into the machine through the back of the unit. In this case, it's coming through this back sidewall. It concentrates that room air, and it leaves, produces just the oxygen that's in atmospheric or room air. The important part is to know that we always have to leave 6 to 8 inches of space completely around the concentrator in order for that concentrator to breathe. We don't ever want the concentrator to overheat and fail. So when you get ready to use the concentrator, you can also add humidification. Looks just like this. This is an example of a humidifier bottle. I have water inside. That goes, in this case, right to the back of the unit, like so. And then this end of the tubing goes to the front. And then now our oxygen is going to exit the humidifier bottle so that can pick up some of the moisture so the patient doesn't dry out. So once the machine's running, there's kind of 2 problems that you can see with the concentrators. Number 1 is it a power issue. We always have to check. Sometimes people move these things around, they disconnect the power cord from the wall, or people plug in their concentrators to power strips, and those power strips are connected to a light switch. So when someone flips that switch, it turns off the concentrator. There's nothing wrong with the concentrator, it just needs a more reliable source of power. The second thing that you really always have to pay attention to is the flow. So if you'll see on our flow meter, we see a little ball floating there. If we were to have an occlusion somewhere, you'll see rapidly that ball descends to 0. Eventually, if this issue wasn't resolved, an indicator light would kick on and start to randomly beep at you, letting you know that there was an issue. So if there was ever a kink in the tubing, you could find that kink, and as soon as I let go and fix the kink, that ball rises back to the liter flow that it was set on. The other issue is overheating the machine. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we always want to make sure that there's 6 to 8 inches of space around the machine. One of the most common things that we see in the home setting is these concentrators, they are a little bit bigger, and so the people try to keep these out of the way, which is great because they're making sure that they're not a trip hazard, but they do have to have space in order for the concentrator to quote unquote breathe. That breathing needed is coming straight from the back. So what we see is people will take the concentrator, set it up, and they'll set it up right up against the wall. Well, that leaves no room for that machine to be able to draw air in, and it'll start to overheat the machine. So an indicator light will kick on, and eventually, if it's not resolved, you can permanently damage the machine, and the red light would kick on, letting you know that it can no longer function. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this demonstration helped answer any questions that you might have had. One of the reasons why we're putting these videos together is not only for nurses, but also for patients and their families. We know on the day of admission, it's a lot of information coming from you from multiple different angles. And so it's easy to forget some of the small details when learning how to operate some of these machines. So we hope this answers those questions for you, that you have a resource to go to Now, if you still have any further questions, even after watching this video, you still have questions that you need answered, you can always call us at our main line. Really, our sole purpose is to be a blessing to you. So if you still need help, hands-on support, we can send a patient service technician to you to help you.